According to our next guest, superfoods are the most potent and super concentrated foods on the planet. Imani is an author, entrepreneur, and mother of 6 who is passionate about inspiring others to tap into their own intuitive body wisdom. I like the sound of that, Imani. Welcome to the show.
I'm excited to be here.
So I think first off, tell me a little bit about what a superfood is.
So superfoods are actually food, but they are increased energy and nutrients. So it's nutrient dense, mineral rich. So they actually have the properties of like medicinal herbs in the form of food. So it's like the two combined. So it gives you that extra boost, and we're gonna kickstart our day with some of these superfoods.
And give me some examples of a superfood.
So we're gonna use cacao, it's chocolate. Cacao is a really well-known superfood. Goji berries. We're gonna do chia seeds today, mucuna, maca. These are some of the kind of more exotic superfoods. And then you have just superfoods like pomegranate seeds and things like that. We're gonna focus on the more tropical, exotic ones today.
Okay, and you also follow a raw diet. What does that mean exactly?
I incorporate a lot of raw food into my diet, and raw foods are living foods, so they're oozing and bursting with life force and vital energy. So we wanna eat more raw foods and incorporate that into our diet so that we can have more energy and increase health and increase antioxidants in our system and boost our immune system.
All right, I like the sound of that. What are we making here today?
So we're gonna make a chia seed pudding, but to do that, we're gonna make a nut milk. So this is a raw nut milk. So sometimes people are allergic to milk or they're looking for alternatives. So this is a raw vegan nut milk.
Okay.
So that means it's not been heated over 118 degrees. The ingredients are raw. So we're using Brazil nuts.
Okay.
And we're using a cup of those in the blender. And we're gonna use, we're gonna actually have our water. It's a super simple recipe. All my ingredients are 5 ingredients or less. So we're gonna put the water in, and we have the nuts in there. And essentially all we're gonna do is blend this together. And this is our super powerful Vitamix blender. And then we're gonna actually take this and strain it in. This is what we call a nut milk bag. So this mixture will go through here and strain, and then we end up with this. So this is actually Brazil nut milk I made, so we don't have to hear the blender twice today.
Got it.
So we're gonna take this nut milk, and we're gonna actually make the chia seed pudding and our superfood smoothie that we're gonna do.
Now, what is the pudding again? Say it one more time for our viewers.
It's chia seeds.
Chia seeds,
These are chia seeds, and these are super protein, super fiber, and actually this smoothie that we're making this morning with the chia seeds and cacao would help with weight loss, increased energy, increased juiciness, the sexual vitality, boost your immune system. So there's a lot of proteins. These are an endurance food, and so it helps you kind of get that extra energy instead of other forms like those fake sugars and stuff like that.
Sure. Now this might be an odd question, but chia seeds, anything chia
pet? Chia pet. Yeah, actually it is the chia pet. This is what they really were intended for. But yes, if you were to do that, they would grow. And that's because this is a living food, so they would actually grow. And the indigenous people actually used to carry them in their pockets, the runners for long distance, like way back in time, and that's how they would keep going. I mean, it is an endurance food, and all the superfoods are like that. We live in a time where it's amazingly abundant, and so even though all of our nutrients are kind of decreasing in the vegetables and the foods that we now have, like a lot of what we call dead foods, packaged, processed, genetically modified foods. These are living foods. They have tons of life force, and you feel entirely different and energized and able to do a lot of things.
It's like a life changer, huh?
It does
Switching
change
your
people's
diet like
life.
this?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, how do we move forward with the chia seed pudding?
We're gonna actually make this smoothie. So I put in these superfoods that we talked about. So we have cacao.
Okay.
And you can smell that.
Oh, it's chocolate.
Chocolate. And then we're going to use Shilajit. This is a mineral pitch. It has 88 plus trace minerals and fulvic acid. So this is going to remineralize you and give you that kind of sense of like feeling really satisfied and nourished. Mucuna, it's actually a bean. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk. It's kind of magical, and it actually is all kind of like all-encompassing immune system and that energy. Maca is typically a lot of men take maca for like the virility aspect of it, but it's actually good for women. It's a hormone balancer, and it increases fertility. So for women who might be having a hard time conceiving, they would want to increase or put some maca into their diet.
Where do we find
these? And it's an
these?
aphrodisiac.
Oh, even add that to the list.
Chocolate, maca. So you'll feel really good today.
All right.
So the superfoods, there's a lot available online. I distribute superfoods. That's my main thing that I do. So we call it the Momlicious Superfood Starter Kit. And so we're gonna add, this is actually a tea that I pre-made, and it's hot, because I know you're a little chilly tea.
Thank you, Imani.
So we got the hot tea, and it's chaga, and chaga is a mushroom. It's actually a tree mushroom with reishi
Okay.
So I don't know if have you heard of reishi?
No, this is very fascinating.
Okay, I know, this is a lot of new words today. So reishi and chaga. Chaga is like the king, reishi's the queen, and so they kind of were working synergistically together in this smoothie.
Okay.
So the reishi is actually a coffee that, I kind of give you a little bit of coffee here.
All right,
but
that's
so
good.
the reishi, and it's antioxidants, again, immune boosting, all overall optimum health and wellness. The chaga is off the charts for anti-cancer, so that's going to be our base.
Got it.
And then we're going to add the milk in that
The
we
nut
made,
milk.
right?
Okay.
It'll give it a little bit of fat and kind of that milky flavor that we're going for. I already added in all of those superfoods.
Okay.
And we could actually even add the chia seeds in this, but we're going to save that for the, we can't do that many superfoods at one time.
Okay, that'd be too much.
We could, but we don't want you going through the ceiling today. So we put that in, and all the other thing I'm going to add, just for a little bit of sweetener, I had some stevia.
Okay.
Have you heard of stevia?
It's kind of like a Splenda, but healthier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So smell that, and you can actually kind of taste it. But see, this stevia is really green.
It
is.
is.
Really pure stevia,
Okay.
so it's potent. You don't need a lot of it. And we're gonna also use some raw honey. So raw honey is like that's a very common, but top 5 superfoods.
Okay.
And all of these superfoods are for longevity. So this is about not just taking something like we're traditionally, we're not feeling well, so we're taking something to feel better. These are foods that you take on an ongoing basis.
Okay.
For your overall optimum health and longevity, so that you don't get sick and that you're preventing cancer and you're boosting up all this. So
this honey's going to sweeten things up a little bit.
This will sweeten things up a little bit. What do you put in your coffee?
Usually just cream.
Okay, so not too sweet.
Correct.
You're good. Okay, so
Thank
we won't.
you for asking.
Yeah, well, we want you to like it.
Imani, how long have you been eating like this?
Well, I owned Alchemy in Hartford. It was a raw vegan cafe for the last 10 years where I raised my kids. And we, homeschooled them there.
I see.
So pretty much for the last 10 years.
No kidding.
Yeah, to have 6 kids, you got to have a lot of energy.
Yeah, I could tell.
All right, I'm gonna blend.
Go
Here we
right
go.
ahead.
So, see, this is where you have to turn it on low first. So excuse that little explosion. So this is just the tea, the milk, and the superfoods.
All right, Imani, we have about 30 seconds
Perfect,
left.
we're done. And if you want to grab one of those cups, I'm gonna just put a little bit of the orange one.
Sure.
Thank you. It's like kind of like a cappuccino, but I call it a mamachino.
Well, this is great. And this is going to energize you and fill you up a little too?
Yeah. Well, when you eat
pretty.
foods that are mineral dense and nutrient rich, you don't really need a lot more. You're satisfied.
Oh, this is great.
Isn't it yummy?
Yeah, and it's healthy for me, huh?
It's good, and it's going to warm you up.
I love it. Thank you so
You're
much for being
welcome.
here. Of course, we'll have the recipe over on WTNH.com.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, we'll give you a preview to a modern tea when style returns. Don't go anywhere.